Hello, hello. Welcome to Healing Souls XJW Cult Recovery. This is my video on anger. Okay, we're going to laugh a little bit because I don't want to have an angry face while I'm doing this. Okay, dealing with anger over the past. I'm sure all of you have watched my life story. You know that I have just as many angry reasons to be angry as you do. I've been through the governing body, I've been through the disfellowshipping committees. The injustice can fuel us with rage. I get it. That aside, holding on to anger is like drinking poison yourself and waiting for the governing body to die. When you hold anger on the inside, you are hurting yourself, not them. Anger has been linked. This is just on the physical side. Anger has been linked to cardiovascular issues, blood pressure issues. Anger can cause strokes, gastrointestinal issues, irritable bowel, other digestive issues, acid reflux, not to mention mental issues, relationship issues. This anger is affecting your physical health. That alone is a huge reason why we need to change that feeling. Forgiveness, I'm sure you've heard that we don't forgive the other person for them. We forgive for us. And that's what I'm talking about. We're not forgiving, we're not releasing the anger because they deserved it. The truth is, 99% of the time, whether I'm working with somebody that's had severe abuse, whether it's domestic violence or whatever the trauma is, when we hold on to that anger, that feeling of being victims, we hold on to that. We justify it. See, look at what they did. Look at what they did. Look at But we're hurting ourselves. So it is in our best interest to let it go. And we're going to talk about the hows here in a second. But as you're thinking about this logically, it serves no one to be angry. In fact, maybe it even kind of plays into their hand. Maybe that's even a little bit what they want, because apostates are just angry creatures because we lost Jehovah's Holy Spirit. Jehovah's people are the happy people. And if we'd only stayed, we'd be happy. But see, here we are angry, and it's because we're apostates. We're feeding in to their bullshit. You're doing exactly what they said we're going to do. Okay, so let me give you a couple of examples here. Because remember, we get to choose our responses. You can either laugh or you can cry. It doesn't change the circumstances, but it can change your physical health and damn sure affects your mental health and how you're able to see the future and what you're able to attract into your life. Now, here's a little plug for my new channel. Woo, Manifesting Minds, right there. I have a whole new channel that I don't have religious content on there. It's more for the people, the clients that I have that don't have religious trauma and they don't know what I'm talking about. But I think that channel is important for you guys too. So head on over to Manifesting Minds. I'm going to put a link in the description there so that you can find it easy, okay? And in that channel, we're going to specifically be talking about manifesting, law of attraction, how to harness that. Because the truth is, we are manifesting in our lives all the time by the energy that we have. So typically when we talk about law of attraction, people think about, creating wealth and creating abundance and creating great families and all of that, which is 100% true. But the truth is, you are manifesting right now. But you're probably manifesting yucky stuff. The law of attraction and manifesting doesn't differentiate between positive and negative. The way the universe is set up to work is the signals that we're putting out are the signals that we get back. This is a universal scientific principle, you reap what you sow. Even that means what you put out is what you get back. Like attracts like energies attract like energies. So on the manifesting channel, I'm going to be talking about how to do that more in that positive aspect. But since we're talking about anger right now, another another reason why you want to let go of that anger is because you don't want to be attracting angry things into your life. You don't want to be seeing that anger everywhere because that's the magnet that you're running. So we're not forgiving them because they deserve it. We're not forgiving them because they're sorry. We're not forgiving them. We're not letting go. We're not releasing the anger for them. It's for you. It's so that you aren't buying into the angry apostate title. It's so that your health is better. It's so that you can learn to thrive and so that you can have peace. So I'm going to give you one scenario that I did this with myself. So when I just kind of like a little bit of background, I was disfellowshipped when I was 20. And then I went to get reinstated when I got pregnant because, I wanted my kids to have family and everything. Reasons don't necessarily matter, but this is what happened. So I go and I turn in my letter to get reinstated because I'd been going back to all the meetings for like a year or whatever. And the presiding overseer, that was back in the day when they were presiding overseers, takes my letter and rips it up and throws it in the trash. He didn't even read it. And I'm like, what the hell? And he goes, ask your dad. So a little bit of that background information. My dad, my uncles, they were elders. They didn't feel like this presiding overseer qualified to be an elder. So there was kind of this little game in the background going on where they wanted him to step down and he didn't want to step down. And I'm the pawn. So basically, in a nutshell, what this presiding overseer had told my dad and uncles is, she's not going to get reinstated unless you guys step down. Now, I didn't know all of this at the time. All I knew is that this asshole ripped up my letter, right? And so, to make a long story short, my dad kind of is like, okay, just wait for the circuit overseer to come. Circuit overseer comes, nothing happens. Well, eventually they step down. And then the presiding overseer calls me and says, okay, you're reinstated. And I said, don't you need to meet with me? And they're like, nope, you're good to go. I was so furious at the games. I was so furious about the lack of spirituality. I mean, what the literal hell? I'm just some pawn in your. I was furious, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. See, remember this. All of your memories that you're angry about, yes. It was messed up. Doesn't mean that I should still feel like that today, though, because the only place these memories exist is in your mind. The past is the past. This is taking up space in your brain. This is generating energy of anger in the back of your brain. So I knew I needed to find a different way to think about this event because I didn't want to be boiling over with rage anytime I thought about it or anytime I talked about it. So they say hindsight's 20/20. And I chose to use a little bit of hindsight in this situation. So here's what I did. I started thinking about the presiding overseer as a human being who was also a member of a cult. He was a father and he was a husband. Part of the reasons why he didn't qualify to be an elder was there were rumors about his daughter having had an abortion. She was like 13 or 14, living at home. She was wild child, blah, blah, blah. His wife smelled like alcohol at the meetings. And so while technically he didn't qualify, I started to put myself in his shoes. What would it be like to have a 13-year-old that you're terrified of losing? What would it be like to know that your wife is drinking maybe because of your daughter? and you're in a fucking cult. What if he was struggling to hold on to his family? And all he knew was how to play by the rules of that stupid cult. And I was just there. It wasn't personal. How many nights must he have wondered or thought about maybe stepping down, and then thought, well, if I do, then maybe he was afraid that that would backfire on his family. Maybe he was thinking that his position, that his reputation, what if he felt like that was the only string that was keeping his family together? You know, what if my family, my dad and my uncles, I know they're not the most sensitive humans. What if they were really ragging on him hard? What if they were not kind to him? And he was just a human responding. As I started reframing that memory, I started to have a lot more empathy for him as a human. Not for how he treated me, but for also a mixed up human that was in the middle of a damn cult too. And the rage felt a lot less. Because again, the truth is, here's another key. I wanted to change how I felt. I wanted to. Because I'm smart enough to know that by holding on to the anger and justifying the anger, I'm the one that's hurting, not him. He probably doesn't even remember me. That memory is taking up space in my brain. And I want to shift it because I don't want to feel like that. Yeah, he's never going to come and ask for an apology or anything like that. You know? Oh, I don't know. That's been 30 years. Maybe he's dead. I don't even know. But I know that we were all involved in a really messed up situation. And I started to feel a little bit of empathy for him. And that's better for me. Now I can talk about that event. And I have pity for him. I have pity for me. I forgive him because honestly, given the religion and given the situation, I'm not really sure he had any other options. He did the best that he could with a really shit situation. That's it. And the anger started to evaporate. And you know what? I feel better. I could see him today and I could hug him because you know what? I can only imagine how messed up his mind is. All right, so what about anger over the governing body? Well, we have to find a way to reframe that too, because there will always be people in positions of authority that abuse it. You know, there will be politicians, there will be bosses, there will be teachers, there will be attorneys. There's always going to be somebody who's looking out for their best advantage. And the governing body is no different than anybody else that is working a system for their own benefit. Are they doing monumental harm? Yes. Yes. But justifying it doesn't make you feel better. Justifying doesn't heal you. Letting it go heals you. It's probably not what you want to hear. Some of us hold on to our stories really hard. We're like, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I also know that rage is going to hurt me. That rage is going to hurt you. We are much more likely to make a difference by having a feeling of neutral versus the feeling of vindictive. We are much more likely to be healthy when we're able to look at those people, those abusive people, and go, you know what? It wasn't about you. You think the governing body knows your name? You think they're like, oh, you know what? Joe, I'm really going to screw him over. Oh, Dina, yeah, let's totally fuck her life up. They don't even know us. They are in a big bubble. They're in their own bubble. How can we start reframing them? You know what? What would it be like if they truly believed they were anointed? What if they are totally delusional? What if they have mental illnesses? There literally are people who have no idea of the consequences, the domino effect that they are creating. Now, maybe that's not true of all of them, but I know that is true of some of them. Finding a way to let them live in their bubble while you create this as a healthy bubble is going to be vital to your thriving in the outside world. It's going to be vital to your health. The more we try to justify the feeling, the more we're giving it fuel. The more we tell ourselves why we have a right to feel like this, the more right we are. And this is a tightrope because you're right. So do you want to be right or do you want to thrive? Because we have a choice there. Being right is not always the healthiest thing to do. I know that there are probably all of us, when we get out of the religion, we are filled with rage over the lost years, over the abuse, over the lack of the accountability. Okay, I know. It doesn't mean that it is healthy to keep drinking that poison and waiting for them to die, because honestly, they are not. At the end of the day, we win by thriving. We beat them at their game by being all that they said we couldn't be. We beat them at their game by practicing what they preach. I don't believe that the Bible is the inspired word of God, but I do believe that there are truths, universal, energetic truths there. So when Jesus was talking about prayer and he says, if you go to make a prayer and you remember you have something against your brother, go make peace with your brother first. Why did he say that? It's because that anger and resentment in your heart hurts you. And, making sacrifices, being grateful, having gratitude while you have resentment in your heart towards somebody is going to send conflicting messages to your health. It's going to send conflicting messages when you're manifesting and using the law of attraction. So I've worked with the law of attraction for 20 plus years. It's part of how I recovered as quickly as I did when I left the cult. And a lot of times people will say, well, I don't believe in manifesting. It doesn't work. I've tried. Yes. Here's the reason why it doesn't work, because you're broadcasting abundance, you're broadcasting gratitude, and you're rotting with anger at the same time. So which one is the universe supposed to listen to? The rotten anger or the abundance? It's like we're just broadcasting multiple radio stations here, and they're crossing each other out. In order to thrive and create this life that we want, we have to stop and we have to say, wait a second, I'm taking control of this here. I don't want to be angry. I don't care if it makes me right. I'm not on a vendetta to be right. You can be right or you can thrive. It's up to you. I'm pretty logical and I'm pretty practical here. And I know that when we let these emotions rule our life, we are not in control. It's like a runaway train of anger. To create your life, you have to take responsibility for your own emotions. You have to choose to say, okay, yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm right. And I don't want to feel like this anymore. We have to choose thriving over being justified. We have to choose thriving and healing. We have to choose letting go. We have to choose forgiving for ourselves, not for them. Okay, I'm trying to make these videos shorter so that your attention span, you don't get bored of hearing me talk. I'm going to pick up this video in a part 2. So please like and subscribe. Please check out my new little YouTube channel and like and subscribe there, because I'm going to be putting content out on both. Please leave comments. Give me some scenarios, maybe. That would be great. Give me some scenarios. I can help us reframe some of the personal things that you have some issues with, okay? Leave comments or send me an email, and I will talk to you soon.